ambitious person with goals, but you're not making any progress, and this leaves you frustrated, sad, wondering what on earth is wrong with you. In this video, we will look at why we crave these quick fixes, and then we'll deconstruct them. And then we use a cheap old notepad to reprogram your brain. And that might sound silly in the age of AI apps, but sometimes analog just works better. So let's together start inching our way towards our goal, yes? In case we haven't met, my name is Gwen Bach. I have a master's degree in applied neuroscience. For the past 3 years, I've been trying to build an online business with no success. Menopause hormones had me gain 10 kilos of weight, and I just got a job offer at slightly above minimum wage. Now, this is my personal hell as an ambitious person, and with no progress for a while, and no light at the end of the tunnel. First of all, let me tell you that the pain that you're feeling is real. We live in a stressful and in a very distracted world, and I think we very much underestimate how modern life affects us, not just in our ability to strive towards our goals, but also how it affects our mental health. So stand a little taller here, because you're here and you're working on yourself in a way that potentially can change the trajectory of your life. And so I'm very proud of you. And I know for sure that you can do it. And I'm here with you all the way. So why do we crave quick fixes? Because they usually deliver us immediate reward or relief, and they reduce the felt stress in the short term. And they're easier to execute than the slower, more effortful alternatives. And the trade-off is that these strategies often work best now and worst later. And personally, I'm really sick of the easy now and worst later in my life. It's like the child in me holding my eyes closed and believing I'm invisible, which as an adult I know obviously doesn't work, right? But I've done it habitually in the past with this new scrolling habit that I cultivated for hours a day. Now, this is video 4 in my Reprogram Automatic Behavior series, and I've put the playlist here in the description. Please do watch the previous videos, because this system has helped me and my one-on-one clients to break the stronghold these automatic behaviors have over our lives. So let's take one small automatic behavior. And if you've watched my video on mental models already, you remember that they're like an app you created and you faithfully practiced, and so it runs automatically now. And most of those apps are just useful, like for example tying your shoelaces. You learned it as a small child, and now you can tie your laces without thinking much about it. However, some of these apps are not useful, like me grabbing my phone when I feel overwhelmed, anxious, or just bored, and then read the news. And this little habit, this app has cost me a lot, not just in time, but also in frustration, anger, and it boosts this feeling of helplessness, and thus creates this downward spiral of negative emotions, and then me self-medicating with even more news toxicity, going in circles. So for this video, you take one of these automatic behaviors, and it needs to be something specific. Like not, oh, I want to be more disciplined, but something like grabbing a box of biscuits, or my phone to watch the news, or binge watch video content till 1 a.m. in the morning. But you can see what I'm getting at here, right? So some specific thing that you do without thinking, and obviously you don't want to continue doing because you want to keep the automatic behaviors that are helpful to you. So which one will you take? And I'll go with my news example. I've been off news since I started planning and working on this video series, but I do want to make sure that it sticks. So I'll work through the entire program. So let's deconstruct this app and take an even more narrow slice of it and make it context dependent based on time, location, task involved, emotion, behavior, and outcome. And I'll put this list in the description below. And as I am creating your workbook for this series, you will have this in the workbook too. Also, the link for this workbook is in the description below. If you're watching this video early on, the link will be for a wait list, and I will send you an email when the workbook is on Amazon. Otherwise, there will be an Amazon link. So then let's take our app and its context. While I can be on news at different times during the day, very often it would start in the morning. Here in my office, when I start working on my workbook, videos, website, and it feels too much to do with too little time, and there's overwhelm, fear, scrolling news, workbook is still not done, and then frustration, distraction, cycle. Oh my goodness, am I irrational? And now after we describe how the app works, very dramatic, we give it a name like Too Little Time. And that could be shortened very without much fantasy, Tooly T app. And if you're up to it, you can even design the app tile just for the fun of it. I've created a page where you can do this in the workbook. Now, this might sound whimsical or even childish to you, but this is a therapeutic tool used in narrative therapy. And I used to use a variation of this when I was still a therapist working with anxiety patients. Okay, and if you want to go the extra mile, you can do this for the different contexts you run the same cycle. In my case, the other contexts are when I grab my phone after dinner, or even while cooking, when I wait for something, or before going to sleep, and then doom scroll news. And I name them all, and I create tiles for them. And you will find these in your workbook just as an example. And if you're interested in going deeper into the science behind this method, please drop a comment below and I will make a video about it. I'm just quite new to this YouTube thing and I'm not sure if you're actually interested, and I'm still trying to figure out if at all there are people out there interested in these kind of topics. So now to the Promise tool that I also used when I was still a therapist, and I had completely forgotten it until recently when I came across a logbook I had created for my weight loss patients 11 years ago. And this method worked like a charm. And I remember one of my patients, she told me that she goes into the kitchen like a zombie and eats the entire box of chocolates from her kids, even without realizing. And a week later, at our next appointment, she said she did the exercise before eating the chocolates, and she realized that she was frustrated because her husband was at a conference in a fancy Dubai hotel being wined and dined, and she was stuck at home with 2 sick toddlers. And she realized that after eating all this chocolate, she'd be even more frustrated, and then decided that she'd rather not eat the chocolate. Now, of course, this was only part of the entire program, but it played a significant role in my patients changing their eating habits. Now, it is really deceptively simple. You take any old notebook or the workbook once it's ready and write on the top of the page what's happening right now. And then throughout the day, whenever you feel the urge to do that behavior that you want to change, and the key here is you don't forbid yourself to do this thing, like eating chocolate. You just need to fill a short line that answers what's happening right now before you do the thing. So here is my little notebook that I keep for this purpose normally on my desk here in plain sight. And I write a date once in the morning on the top, and then whenever I feel like grabbing my phone to scroll the news, I write the time and what's happening. For example, I have here 9:17. I'm working on the workbook and not sure how to create it without using InDesign. And I'm frustrated with my learning curve and scared it won't work. and I'm wasting my time. Now, you don't need to go into emotions that deep. It's already sufficient to just write what's happening right now. The mechanism why it works is similar to what we do in narrative therapy, but it interrupts the automatic pattern, and it gives you time to actually decide versus just automatically scrolling or eating your kid's box of chocolate. So in this video, we deconstructed the app. We named it and created fun tiles that represent the app. We also started a simple old notebook to log what's happening right now before we do the thing. And again, key is you do not, I repeat, you do not forbid yourself. You just have a small step in between. In the next video, we will go a little more into social media consumption, how it affects us, and another fun hack I have used in my social media feed to use it for my benefit and for my goals. So no detox here, but using social media for your goals. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.